Hi, I'm Candy Eaton. I'm a frame drummer. I'm making this video at Miranda's request to tell a story about a dream I had when Layne came to me while I was in London in my Dreamtime. So a little backstory, I've been drumming for about 24 years, 25 years, something like that. And I played West African percussion and Middle Eastern darbuka and frame drum. I started playing frame drum from my first drum teacher, who gave me the book When the Drummers Were Women, and it profoundly changed my life, as it has so many. And I was able to take a workshop with Layne in, I think it was 2003 at Remo in North Hollywood. And it was a workshop on the brain and body and drumming. It was a long workshop. It was wonderful, amazing. She had us drumming and stepping and crossing our feet, which like makes your right and brain, left and right brain work together. Very interesting. So I was drumming happily for several years, and then about 8 years ago, I started having pain, severe pain in my hands and my legs, and my balance was off, and all these different symptoms started happening. Anyway, I found out that I had fibromyalgia, and then I found out that I had severe peripheral neuropathy. So my hands and feet, they don't work. My brain doesn't cooperate with my hands and feet so much. And I have severe pain and numbness, and my balance is off. And so I walk with a cane. I can only walk short distances now. And drumming ended up hurting. Then later on, I found out I had also had lupus. So drumming was kind of taking a back seat in my life because of my pain and abilities had changed. So I kind of retired, slowed down drumming a lot, not performing, not teaching as much. And so my husband and I lived in Orange County for 28 years together, and he retired, and so I also retired, and we moved out to the desert, as a lot of people do. I grew up out here in the desert, so it seemed kind of logical to come home. And so I kind of just gave up drumming for my health reasons, and my husband and I went on a European vacation starting in London last year in March. And the night before we went to the British Museum, I was all excited, and I knew I was going to be seeing lots of depictions of women frame drumming in the British Museum. I didn't know that Layne's relief that she used for her cover was in the British Museum until I was halfway through. But anyway, I'm gonna back up. So the night before I went to the British Museum, I had a profound dream that Layne came to me in my dream time, and she told me to gather the women in the desert to drum. And in my mind, I was like, Layne, I can't do this anymore. She's like, gather the women in the desert to drum and do what you can. And in my dream, all the women I'd ever drummed with were there, and faces that I didn't know. But Miranda was there, and she was drumming in 6 count, and I'll play that in a minute. But yeah, so I was like, okay, who's to argue with Layne, right? So the next morning, we went to the British Museum, and we saw all these amazing depictions, and I was like halfway through, and I was like, I wonder if the relief's here, because I didn't know, which you think I would know, but I didn't know, and I just got this overwhelming feeling inside of me. I think it's here. I think it's here. And I turn the corner, and there's a kneeling Venus, and to the right on the wall is Layne's relief that she used for the book. And this is the photograph that I took of it. And I started to cry. I'm going to start crying right now. It was overwhelming, homecoming. And it was just an affirmation to know that Layne was guiding me. So I get back home, and I did do a few, but it was sporadic because, sometimes my body just is not working hard, and I can't put myself through it, but I persisted. And so now I am doing it regularly, and I do have a good group of women coming every month. We did miss a month last month. My husband was ill, as some of you know. And so I missed last month, but last night was wonderful. We pulled cards last night from an oracle deck called Witch, and it's Women in Total Control of Herself. That's what Witch stands for. And the card I pulled was the Songstress. And the card represents that if you're not feeling like you're enough, or you're good enough, or your abilities aren't quite that great anymore, whatever, that you need to still put yourself out there in your music and your art. And I thought that was very profound. So I feel more inclined to share today about this. Thank you, Miranda, for pushing me along, nudging me along to share this story, because Layne's still constantly inspiring. And the impact that she's had on my life, and I know so many others' lives, is just profound in her legacy. So I know we're a few days off of the crossing of her veil, but I love you, Layne, and thank you for the inspiration. And I am gathering the women in the desert, just like you said. And so this is the 6 that Miranda was playing in my mind. I still hear it. Thanks, Layne. Love you always.